Yo, 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 yo. G-Bear, did you get notification? Because it's like I went live, but I was not live. Like, I don't know how did that happen, but cool. I was typing, finishing up my stuff, but all right. So, how's it going? Let's see. Hey, what's up, Asa? What's going on? Hello, Gabe. How's it going, everyone? Let's see. Too much activated carbon is going to be the topic. So welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. You got your lovely host here, Rico's Aquariums. Do I still feel like crap? Yes, my head is still, it's my neck. So, it's like I sleep wrong. So do I feel like I still will need to throw up? Yes. So we are back with your lovely host, Rico's Aquariums. And this is Aquarium Talk and everything in between. What, episode 27? Something like that. And we are going to talk about too much activated carbon. Hey, what's going on, Reef God? So as you guys are coming in, if you guys don't mind, smash those thumbs up button. Also, if you'd like to become a member, there's a members button. And I always get the question, how do I become a member? I have an iPhone. You need to go to a PC, or if you can do Safari from your phone, I guess that's another way. Go to Safari and it should have a member button there. If it doesn't, just do it from a PC. I can't tell you. So you have an option there. And then you also have your lovely super chat option if you appreciate this channel, So now that we got that all out of the way. So how's everyone doing? Hopefully everybody's doing great. Hopefully you're at work having a blast. Highly doubt it. But hey, it pays the bills. So if it pays the bills, then hey, you're doing great. There's a lot of people that don't have work at the moment, unfortunately. So questions. We're just doing questions and thoughts. All right. So if you're new to this channel and you just came across this video, I apologize. There's no tank behind me. We do have some tanks that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be doing for this year. I'm definitely doing lots of product reviews, giving to you straight, uncut, uncensored. All right. I do have some news to bring to my channel, which it should just create an uprise of, people to be a certain type of way. No, I don't get tested, man. Even if I did, it wouldn't matter. It is what it is. I'm not about all that, and I'm not even about to get into that. Appreciate it though, but no. This has been going on for a year. It just, unfortunately, I'm having a bad time now with my neck. So it's always every morning. It's like I get up as if I'm sleeping wrong on my neck, and it's a constant pinch. It's pinching of nerves. And it's causing discomfort. It's causing bad migraines. It's causing where they're so bad that I'm throwing up. No, I don't do all that. And I've been around a whole bunch of people that are friends and, that has it and been around them, and they go home and they go get tested anyway and they have it. My wife works all day, every day, 3 times a week with it all the time. No, we haven't had it. So it is what it is. I mean, if we do get it, then we get it. Who cares? I've never had the flu, never had any of it. So I don't care about it. I'm just being honest. So I don't care. By the way, even if I was hooked up to a machine, I don't care. Like, you're gonna go, you gotta go. When it's your time to go, let's go. So before I get off into that and my beliefs, which I don't want to do because, that's this, people just can't understand other people's ways of thinking sometimes. I ride this bad boy till the wheels fall off. Okay. That's how I get down. I don't go because I hit my finger with a hammer or any of it. Hello. But I do appreciate your everybody's concern, but no, I'm good. I do feel a little bit better than I did yesterday. Do I still feel like I want to throw up? Yes, I do. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie. I do. Sometimes I feel like it's just best to stick your fingers down your throat and get it up and call it a day. But anyway, if you're new, I know, see, if you're new, this is how crazy this channel is. So this is exactly why you want to subscribe to this channel. Just for you all that's new. Like, what did I just walk into? You walked into a great aquarium channel show. Right, guys? Would you guys agree? Can I get a round of thumbs up in the chat? Would you guys agree that this is probably the best aquarium show ever known to man on the planet? Let's be real. Come on. It's 2021. Somebody's got to keep it real. You guys gonna keep it real? And this is the only channel that you could talk about aquariums and not have one behind you right at the moment. Like, Rico version. Yeah, and not have one behind you. So, he said, well, Pete Jr., okay. All right, we don't have one behind it, but we are getting one. Right, Asa? I'm getting one. So I just got to, waiting. Okay. So I'm surprised I got tanks the way I did. So I'm going to be talking about these tanks. I'm probably going to give away 3 of those tanks to some lucky people that follow me. The only problem is you do have to be in the States. So unfortunately, it just has to be. But I'm going to keep one. And I'm definitely going to do something with one. So I got to figure it out. We'll figure it out when the time comes on what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to do with it. But for right now, we need to talk about the topic at hand. We're about 8 minutes in, and I haven't said anything about anything. Do you guys care, or is that okay? Or you just want to look at my lovely face and I'm drinking coffee? Purple mattress and pillow combo has helped me sleep immensely. I definitely need to figure out something. But when I had my back injury, I think I did something in my neck. I think the whiplash when I fell, I think I did something. But the thing is, it didn't come about until later, way later, after the fact. I had to resign from my job trucking. And which I truly miss. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, even with a wife, kids, and all that, that was a musa. And I really enjoyed it. I loved enjoying traveling all over and being in different places every day, different states, every day. And when you think you've been there 50 times, well, there's another 50 or 100 more other places, if not 1,000 more places you haven't been in that state. So I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I refuse surgeries, and maybe that's why I'm paying for some of the stuff that I'm paying for. But I don't care. I know what happened to me was very scary, let alone to have surgery and be permanently not walking or anything like that. And this pick and choose my battle. So I'm sure when I'm old and decrepit and you guys see me in a wheelchair, you just give me a high five and come talk to me, even if I don't make any sense or anything at that time. Just say, hey, I remember you, you nutbag, you old fart, you know. Anyway, getting into the topic here. Let's see. Question: how often should you do water changes in your aquarium? And we're talking about is too much carbon. Can you do too much carbon, in your aquarium? Yeah, too much activated carbon in your aquarium. And how often should you do water changes? So these are some of the things that, and why would you be doing water changes if you're doing activated carbon? Okay. So, these are going to be questions, and we're just going to talk about them for the new hobbyists coming across this video after we're 10 minutes in of BSing. And the reasons why we do water changes is to what? To help, obviously, to replenish trace elements and minerals, but also to do what to the water? To remove what? Organics and toxins that the corals are producing, the waste of fish, the whole 9 yards, to have a better what? Clarity of water. All right. So you don't have the yellow tint to your water. Even though your water looks clear, you might find yourself, that's why people say, when you're doing a water change, put it in a white bucket and see exactly what the water looks like. You can see the yellow tint in a white bucket if your water's dirty. So these are some of the things that I would like to talk about today. And also, is too much water changing? Is it bad? The whole 9 yards. So I'm kind of going to be a little, it's boiling down to the carbon stuff, but I also want to kind of combine a couple other things with that, because I think it just, I don't know. We can do it separate episodes on this stuff as well. Like I said, there's so much to talk about when it comes to reefing. It's just crazy. I would say, has anybody went without water ever for a month and just worked out all day and took in toxins and, not replenished their self with water? But has anybody, I think that's a good statement. Has anyone tested if water changes are truly sufficient in replacing trace elements? I think so. I think people have, and I honestly believe that you have, and you just haven't seen it for yourself. It's very easy to test that theory as a hobbyist. Don't do shit and then do something. Meaning don't do anything at all in your aquarium and then turn around and eventually, after not doing water changes, do a water change. Test your parameters and do without doing water changes for a significant period of time, and then go ahead and do a water change. You will see that answer is probably 99.99999%. You are the father to that answer, and the answer is yes. So anyway, enough with that one. But I think that was a good question. And, I think that that's a newbie asking, but not a newbie asking that question. But that is a newbie question. I feel like that is something a newbie would definitely ask. Because curiosity. The whole thing about this whole thing is learning, right? Theories and, what's what. And it's really hard to understand what is what, because there's a lot of things in this hobby that is very, 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 very confusing, complex, as far as I'm concerned. It's what should add up might not add up, and what adds up maybe shouldn't, because we all think different. So we have to learn to train ourselves to really think outside the box and really look at it for what it is. I think sometimes we focus on too much one certain aspect of the aquarium hobby here, reef hobby or whatever, that we can't see past what somebody else says. We can't use our own brains to really think for ourselves, because there's just so much information out here. It's so easy to click of the mouse to whatever. And it's like, you're not really thinking for yourself. You're just using somebody else's personal opinion and making assessments by their opinion instead of your own opinion, meaning, instead of what you're actually seeing within your aquarium, something bad might be going on. So you Google it, blah, blah, blah. 10 people says this and that. 5 of them over here says this. 3 of them over here says that. 2 over here on the left says this. Okay. Then you turn around and just start trying to, figure it out. And where's your thought on it? You kind of allow everybody else to do the work for you. But in reality is you're there with your aquarium. You know exactly what's going on. So you need to learn to think for yourself, think outside the box, diagnose your problems. You can go and turn to different pages to try to narrow it down to what you think it is, but also use your best judgment and your own thought process to really diagnose your own stuff. But anyway, I know I just went clear, whatever, but that's all right. Learning never stops in this hobby. That's for sure. It never stops. So for anybody new, think that you thought you knew it all, or for anybody in this place right now, to my right, it might look like you're left on the screen looking at me, but to my right in the chat, if anybody over there thinks that they know it all, good luck, because I've been doing it longer than anybody pretty much on that side, and I don't know it all. I don't. I'm like really stupid. Like I'm slow when it comes to reef aquariums. So yeah, I'm a special case. But I like to help you all. So if you're new here, this is definitely a place to get your information. So anyway, we are going to talk. So I asked also about the water change. The reason I asked about the water changes is it's not more for your trace elements or minerals. It was more for the toxins within the water and the organics that are flowing in your water to help you better clarity of your water, stuff like that. And once again, I think I think people don't understand the stocking of their aquarium. Once again, we always talk about 10% water changes. Well, we also talk about protein skimmers, and I don't want to go too far off because I could say this for another topic. But when it comes to like protein skimming, you know what I mean? Like you buy a protein skimmer, you got a 100-gallon aquarium, so you buy a protein skimmer, it says rated for 100 gallons. Well, that is very not true. And what I mean by not true is that is for a tank of water with really nothing in it, maybe one fish. Okay, the more you stock that aquarium, that 100-gallon protein skimmer has really actually, if you have that 100-gallon aquarium stocked at max capacity, well, that now 100-gallon protein skimmer is really only rated for like 25 gallons. You get what I'm saying? So when we say +1, +2, +3, whatever, when it comes to aquariums or protein skimmers, that's why we're always saying go bigger. I don't think people really explain that. Go bigger. Go over what you actually need, because we as hobbyists are always overdoing everything that we do. I mean, let's be real. If you can't be real with me, be real with yourself. Raise your hands. How many times have each and every one of you in here right now have just overdone everything there is to do in this hobby? Overfeed your aquarium. Don't pay attention to what you should be putting in your aquarium when it comes to fish. Understanding how big these fish will get, all this stuff. Come on, man. If you're not going to be real with me, be real with yourself. It's 2021. Let's be real. All right. You overdo it. We all overdo and overstep our boundaries, what we're allowed or should be doing within our aquarium. That is the real. Okay. Let's be real and get along and understand that we're not perfect. We're human and we're just excited little people that just are so passionate. It's not that we don't care. We just forget. We're just having fun. Oh, it's so cute. It's this, it's that. I got to have it. Come on. That's what we do. And guess what? Who cares what anybody thinks? It's okay. All right. We don't care about the tank police or anything like that. It's okay. We're human. We're allowed to be excited. We're allowed to just, you know, do those things. I mean, it happens, man. It happens. All right. It truly happens. So anyway, you know, what I was going with that is we all tend to do what is said. 10% water changes. How many of you guys believe that you should do 10% water changes every week? Show of hands. Just wondering. Real quick. Sport my pilot lab hat today. Got to represent those guys. Feel like those guys have been off somewhere. One person says no. One person says daily, 10% daily. Okay, how many of you guys believe that you should have a bowel movement at least 3 times a day or more? What did he just say? How many of you guys believe you should have a bowel movement? Let's say at least once a day. Okay, we won't get into how many times, but at least once a day. Can you imagine not having a bowel movement once a week? But once a week? I mean, so whether we do or don't, I mean, obviously it could be a problem for us not having a bowel movement, but only once a week. You need to get to the hospital. But can you imagine what it's going to do, like back up inside of us? Like we have bacteria, beneficial bacteria within inside us. The only difference is it doesn't work like the biological filtration that we have doesn't work like the biological filtration within our aquariums that has ability to do what it needs to do. Right, and filters and, you know, natural filtration process. Too bad that we don't have that. But we have ways to taking out nutrients and putting it where it needs to go within our bodies and, you know, whatever. When I prepared my colonoscopy, I had a bowel movement every hour. Right? No, I just have to, okay. Let me be serious here. I just figured, I don't know why I said that. I had to. Like, it just felt like it was the appropriate thing to say at the time. But anyway, let's get back on topic. Okay. Should you do 10% water changes every week? Somebody said no. All right. Well, I would like to know why. Do we need to have on our reef aquariums? We know that we can go exponential amount of time without ever doing water changes. Now, it is going to have certain effects on what we are keeping within our aquarium and what we can and cannot keep. All right, so we kind of can know that, especially if you don't have like a calcium reactor or whatever that's replacing minerals and trace elements. Okay, but anyway, has anybody actually thought about that? Depends where I was going with that on a serious note. So if you're new, don't forget to come in. Hit that, smash that thumbs up because you're learning something for real. This is real 2020 learning. If not, then please just get out of here and don't come back. Okay. So where I'm going with this is I feel the rules apply the same. And what I mean by the same is when it comes to a protein skimmer. Nobody thinks about the bioload within the aquarium. What is he talking about? Nobody thinks about the bioload within the aquarium. We're all told do 10% weekly, 10% water changes. But what is that based on? To me, I feel like it's no different than a protein skimmer. It is based on your bioload. 10% ain't going to help you out if you got a real heavy bioload. That percent should go up to maybe 20% or 30%. Water changes Oh, that what? What? Well, think about it, people. Think about it. It should go up. The nutrients level is going to be how big in that aquarium from 2 fish to 10 fish. What do you think the difference is going to be? Do you think 10% on 2 fish, same size aquarium, is going to be sufficient as a same size aquarium with 10 fish in it? Who's going to have more built up organics? So should I base my water changes on the grounds of that? Saying what your activated carbon is. Your carbon, people say, how long is your activated carbon going to last? Some says 2 to 4 weeks. Sometimes you should change it once a week. The problem is you need to base that as well on your bio load. So the question is, for activated carbon, can you use too much? Can you? No, I don't think you can. I don't think it's actually possible, to be quite honest. I mean, I do, but I don't. I think too much of anything can be bad. I think there can be too clean is where I'm going. So it's a yes and no. It's a fine line. Should I just sum it up? Fine line, common sense, balancing act, and so forth. You can have too clean and strip too much organics from your water. Now it's too clean when you know your aquarium needs organics and stuff within the aquarium, because bacteria all feeds on all this stuff, right? Or wrong? Hello? Anybody out there? Hello? Questions or answers, please. Chat. Thank you. Yeah. Come on. This is 2021, people. Are we getting it together, or are we not going to get it together? Or are we going to just deal with disgruntled people all day that just hate their life? I don't know. Are we going to listen and try to make sense of some of this stuff? Hey, all it is fun. It's fun talks, having fun, trying to figure out some stuff, make it simple, make it easy, make it make sense, put some logic behind it, and call it good. Whether it's 110% right or only 85% right or 50% right. Can we make sense of it is the question, and the things that we talk about. Does that make sense? What I just said, does that make sense to you? Show of people, show of hands, please. Let me see. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So should I use carbon all the time? I think there's not a problem with using carbon all the time. I like to take it off, though, instead of run it all the time. I like to give it some time in between using it. You know, if I run it for a week, I take it off for a week. If I run it, you know what I mean? And then run it again. And it's really just to balance and knock down whatever. You can think about it, you know, in a way to maintain in between whatever. Say you're running low on salt. I don't know. You can't do water changes every week. Maybe the week that you need to be doing water change, that's be the week you run your carbon. You know, a sufficient amount of carbon, because I don't know, maybe money's tight. Can you run carbon every day? Yes, I've seen people run carbon every day. Okay, they never, you know, whatever. Did they say lateral line disease is caused by, you know, carbon and true cleaner? I mean, they say a lot of stuff. So once again, you know, it just depends. It really just depends on how you choose to run it. Are you out, you know, doing it in a way that you're stripping the aquarium and making the aquarium too clean? Once again, you have to find that balance within your own aquarium. I can't tell you where that balance is. I don't know your aquarium. Only you know your aquarium. So therefore, I can't give you that type of information, and nobody else can either, because we're not you and you're not us, and we're not with your aquarium 24/7 like you are. So that is something that everybody needs to learn, to respect that space. And if you're talking like, you're there all the time at somebody's aquarium, you need your head checked. But nobody can give you that. Only you can do that for yourself. So change carbon every month, depending on your system. Yeah, I mean, it really is like 2 to 4 weeks, but, or every week. It really depends on your bioload. You know what I mean? How long can that carbon last you? Let me ask you this. You guys run carbon in your water RO systems, right? Do you change the carbon every month in your RO system? Cartridges? Do you change your carbon cartridges every month in your reverse osmosis system? Then why don't you? What is the TDS that's coming in? So how long do you go before you change that? Don't that depend on your water? It depends on how hard your water. It depends on a number of things with your water, right? I'm just asking a question. How many of you guys thought about that? Probably none. Let's be real. Probably none. You know what I mean? You just do it when you think. How do you know that every 3 months or every 6 months is sufficient enough? Maybe you should be changing that cartridge every month. How do you know? It's based off your water. What is your water doing to that carbon? Has anybody thought about that? TDS 0. I mean, ICP test. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, your water level, depending on if they're working on water lines or doing this or doing that, it can jump up. It can release stuff through the line. I don't know. They flush their lines with certain things. Just saying. What up, Tom? What's going on, my man? I'm just saying. This is not a debate. It's just opening people's minds. Okay. It really basically boils down to, depending on your buy load, and only one knows your buy load is you. And at the end of the day, change out your activated carbon every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks is really based on your, not mine, your aquarium, not nobody else's, only yours. So remember that when you, I think it's a great question. I think when people ask that question, they're looking for an answer. So if you're coming in listening to this, there's your answer. Nobody can answer that question technically besides you. And it's really, I'm answering it because I'm telling you that it's really based off of your bioload. So your bioload, just like a protein skimmer, is not rated for a 100-gallon aquarium if it's fully loaded. Even if it says it's very deceptive. Like, it's not true. It's true, but it's not true. People don't read the small print. We all forget to read the fine print and stuff like that. And what is it actually rated for at a full capacity of an aquarium? Even if it says it's a 100-gallon aquarium, it's a 100-gallon protein skimmer. With that 100-gallon protein skimmer now is a 25-gallon protein skimmer for a 25-gallon fully stocked aquarium. People need to understand that. So take that into mind. That might be where sometimes they get 30% of actually what a protein skimmer actually takes out of your aquarium. You know what I mean? That might be where they get those numbers at. I'm not sure. I haven't put that much thought into that one. But at the same time, if it is, also depending on how often you keep the net clean, which is, I think it's very good to have net cleaners with protein skimmer. After running the one I had, man, I'll tell you what, it was like set it, forget it. And I had it down in the drain, and I could flush it out, and it goes all in the drain. I never had to do anything, pretty much that was it. It is what it is. I heard carbon is optimal for 3 days because of biofilm buildup in aquarium, but never investigated it as of yet. Build up. Yeah, I run carbon on my freshly mixed salt water too. Awesome. What's up, Naked Dog? What's up? What's up? What's up? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So also with that being said, we're talking about carbon, but we're also talking about the water changes and all that. Doing too many water changes, can it have an effect on your aquarium? Anybody? If you do too much, too many, can it have an effect on your aquarium? I think on that one time, if you run carbon pre of your RODI, it helps just keep your membranes and stuff on your RO unit, which and all your filters, you can sustain them longer if you did a big carbon prior to your reverse osmosis. It helps clean the water and also maintain your cartridges longer. Carbon is a very nice tool to have when it helps binding up organics and all this other stuff. What's up, Bobby Rodriguez? What is going on? But I know you didn't ask me. I know that question was for Angry Al, so Angry Al can answer that in his own terms when it comes to that one. Can you run your old tank water back through your RODI? That's a good question, but why would you? I mean, if you have a pump to pump the water in through, I don't understand that one. Two settlement versus carbon cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on how you have that carbon set up. Like if you did a water softener system that has carbon that you could set up to do a back flush of the carbon, because activated catalytic carbon can be cleaned, okay, with peroxide and have a peroxide tank and back flushing the system, cleaning the activated carbon and flushing it away from your tank before it's ran back through. It's a whole works of things. But for our terms, it probably is cheaper, Tom, by a long shot. Probably, just being. But there are setups that you can get away with, like it's not cheaper. But understanding all that, is just like it's way out there for most of us. We're just talking about tanks here. Yeah. So we were also talking about Anyway, well, I already talked about how often should we change our carbon. I mean, that's kind of depend on what you want to do. Your RO system will reject the salt water and clog your membrane very quickly. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. That's right. Yeah, good point there. So what is the primary reason to using activated carbon within our aquarium? Not everybody speaks at once. By the way, as I am sitting here waiting patiently for you all to answer that right here in the chat, which you guys that are coming in watching this at a later date are not going to see, but I'll be asking and answering the questions over to my right. Might look like your left. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And greatly appreciate you. And if you have any questions at the end of any of my videos, leave them in the comment section down below that you can find. It says comment there. And if I think that you are having a wonderful topic to bring up to the reefing community, I will select your topic and talk about it in a future show. Carbon breaks down ammonia, toxins, and clarity. The carbon helps to remove chlorines, and what else? Carbon is key. Water clarity, detoxification of water. Sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot of reasons to do that. So general contaminants, would you guys say would be one? Yellowing pigment of your water. You know, when we talked about putting the water into a bucket, seeing the color of it, all that good stuff. You know, what about the toxins that corals produce and the algae emit into the water columns? You know, the corals produce these toxins for like chemical warfare. Here's another reason why, once again, somebody asked, I forget who was it, should I run, or is it okay to run carbon all the time? Well, your corals don't care or what time of year it is or what day it is if it wants to, you know, throw out chemicals and toxins and all this other stuff in your system to create chemical warfare. A lot of times we don't understand what RTNN and STNN are, or why it happens, but majority of the time it's probably just because of chemical warfare, not a temperature fluctuation of 0.5. Just saying. Well, I didn't mean to say that out loud. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to go there. It bothers me. It touches me right here. Right here. It hurts my feelings. Right here. So, anyway, should have been a comedian. I should have been a comedian. I should just rip people's heads off and been a comedian for my life. Anyway, I had to. I'm never going to let that down, guys. A 0.5 degree fluctuation. Anyway, that's a funny one. Yeah. And a list of much more stuff. You know, it's always a lot more that why carbon. So can we all agree that carbon has a very special place within our aquarium? And would you put it almost as a necessity of helping you having a successful reef aquarium? Don't everybody answer that in the chat at once. Once again, do you think it is a necessity or should be classified? Let me rephrase that. Should be classified as a necessity to help you on your way to becoming very successful or keeping a very healthy, maybe I should say, aquarium? Yeah. Just asking. By the way, what's another topic we should be talking about? I mean, would you consider your carbon your kidney in filtering toxins and help removing toxins from your body? Would you classify carbon as that? That's a question. That's a very good question. Just saying. Oh, there goes my neck. You heard that? Might have heard that. That was loud. Oh, Tom says my tank don't like carbon. Out gets used less when I use carbon. That might be a great topic. I think we should figure the answer out to why that is. Why is that? Why would that happen? Water change removes toxin anyway. Oh, we already talked about that, Ryan. Yep, we talked about water changing as a source. Yep, sure have. And I said activated carbon in between water changes. Acidic buildup within the tank well and can help raise pH. So how should we determine So where does activated, oops, sorry. Okay, hurt you, Mike. Sorry. So, okay, we have some, you know, some things here on what I'm seeing. Uh, just the fact that we all have little boxes of water, we don't have enough natural filtration or dilution capacity to just let things go. Carbon also removes organic coral consumed slowing out consumption as well. Organics coral consumption. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Um, so I think these are all great topics. I think once again, though, what I would like to see is everybody just listen. All right. Listen. It's hard, I want everybody to don't take these topics and start getting your panties in a bunch. I want healthy topics. Now, there are things out here, there's not a lot of scientific proof to a lot of any of it, okay? Let's just be real with that. All right, if you haven't known that, you know that from me saying this a million times. First off, all right, is it a debate? Is it a way to, whatever? No. At the end of the day, there isn't a lot, whatever. We don't consume these animals. So therefore, there's not going to be a lot of scientific stuff behind a lot of it. It's if somebody has been in this hobby X amount of time, well, they're held up here versus, somebody else down here that sees something, that could be actual beneficial. What I'm saying is they're non-believable because this person up here says otherwise. At the end of the day, there are things that happen with our aquariums. Here's what I do want people to understand. There are things happen within our aquariums as a whole. Some of the things happen differently from my aquarium to your aquarium and your aquarium to Jody's aquarium or whoever's aquarium. Okay. Reasons why these things are different or why things happen, unbeknownst to me, we don't know. Okay. Obviously, there's certain things that trigger certain things. Okay. It would be beautiful to get down to what those things actually are. Unfortunately, we don't know. But it's cool to hear, why does somebody experience X and Y and the other person experience just Z? Okay. And never experience X or Y. I think it's very interesting. I mean, we're all little mini scientists. We all have our, whatever. Let me just say that just because one person experienced something and you haven't experienced it, is that grounds to have a very negative comment or be angry at what somebody or one person says? Yes or no in the comments. I personally say, there are people, what I think does happen is that people say certain things and I feel like it does come off as trolling, depending on the person and what they've done in the past and how things, whatever, you can really take sometimes people's comments as they're trolling, and they probably are. And if they're not, they done cried wolf so many times, so you don't know if they are or aren't, personally. But let me get back in here. It says carbon also removes organic coral consumed slower out consumption as well. That's right. And I said meat, question mark, whatever. I need to see your tank. That was consuming, sorry, eating. I got that, right? The carbon binds up PO4 and NO3, so less food source for the tank, which equals less all consumption. Love how that's put. All not all. All right. Just starting using Pureit. My tank rebounded nicely to it. There you go. Lots of people need to show their tank. And that was their tanks, Tom 202. Okay. Where's Tom at on that? Yep. He says, agree. I get the absolute worst advice for years from experts. Who's an expert? I'd like to know that. Never showed their tank. Who is claiming to be an expert? Because there is no experts that I know of in this hobby. I don't give a damn who you are. And there's one person that's always everybody runs to because they have a background in chemistry or something that, you know, they think is God on a forum. Have you ever looked at their tank? But anyway, I'm not going to go there, but I'm just saying, I don't think there's any experts at this. There's nothing to be an expert about. I mean, besides actually digging into the truth and finding out and actually putting up the money to do some real live, real backing of scientific studies and stuff like that. But I mean, who's an expert? Is there, you know, well advanced, but expert? Those are big words there. I don't know. No, I have yet to. He just said I didn't even read all the way down. He says I have yet to see this day to see a tank ran by Randy Holmes Farley. Why'd you say that? Hold on. It's getting hot in here. Whew. Lord have my. Woo. Boy, did the heat get turned up in here? Woo, man! I shots fired. Man down. Hey, is he wrong for that statement? He is not. He's not wrong at all. And this is where I draw my line. And people ask me, I just don't do the forums. I want you to be okay, Ryan. Okay. I think people. I don't know. I draw my line is I'm good on forum. Everybody there, a lot of people. I'm not gonna say everybody, but boy, the stuff I see and hear. Oh, I just don't want no part of it. I don't want nobody. I don't want no part. I don't want to become part of the problem versus the solution. I'd rather stay in my lane and try to be part of a solution, part of an understanding community, understanding how to share, maybe and understanding, having some open thoughts without arguments. And I'm going to stay over here in my lane. Can I be honest with y'all? I am not an expert. I don't know. Beep. I used some common sense that I was just fortunate in my area of time was able to buy from Walmart, aisle 9, bottom shelf, close to the end cap, facing the meat department. Okay. And at the end of the day, I just try to make some logic, common sense of how I look at things. I am not an expert. I'm just creating a platform like I have always done and just say what's on my mind and tell it like it is. And just have fun for the most part. That's all this is. So if you're new and to the hobby, that's what if this platform is for you, then you're more than welcome to join it. But yeah, I'm not an expert. Please, I get mad when I hear the word expert because there's not no experts out here in this. I mean, you could be advanced in what it is and maybe some knowledge that you have or you came up with, under your own personal opinion, observation, the whole 9 yards. But experts get paid lots and lots and lots of money. And I don't know anybody that's the king of reefing. I mean, I'm the king of live streams. I never said I was the king of reefing. Okay, live stream king, like what I'm doing right now. It was, you know. So I don't know. It is what it is. Shirts and ties doesn't make you expert. I think that would say people who build a Bugatti now. Bugatti's down on one. Let's see. Why would not having a tank invalidate his experience? It's not his experience. I think it's the way it comes off. So that's like saying to ask an engineer about a tank stand, but he doesn't have a tank. So he's full of, well, here's the thing. Don't do something unless you're willing to back up your own work. You don't go to somebody's house and sell them a roof and not have a portfolio, even though some people do. And a lot of times those people do get banged. They get the insurance check took in. And I deal with a lot of those situations. I do insurance work as well. So I deal with a lot of people getting robbed from people. They have a good game. They talk a good game and they ain't got no portfolio, let alone insurance. They don't have $1 million, $2 million policy like me to have a company name or insurance. People, if you go to them, you look like $1 million, you dress like $1 million. Guess what? I'll answer that angry out. 9 times out of 10, somebody gonna give you $1 million. Okay? Because look, you playing a part and people fall into the trap all the time. It happens all the time. Okay? It happens all the time. But the proof is in the pudding. Business card. Show your business card. If you can't produce one, then shut up and sit down and stay out the way. That's how I like to look at it. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that's just me. Shut up, stay out the way. Who are you again? Get out the way. And that's just me. That's just me. You in the way, period. You in the way. Honestly, this was a great topic. This was a great talk. You know, it happens all the time. And if you can't put up, and like, if I'm going to buy your business, you got to show me that your business is what it's worth. You got to show me your books. I need to see your tax return. I need to see what you claim, whatever. Are you cooking your books? What are you doing? I need to see these things. See, unfortunately, there's a lot of people doing things blind, okay? And we allow people to talk us to death and then be something that they're not. And we get taken advantage of. It happens to all of us. We all been there. We've all done it. Even to the people that we thought was friends. Okay, whether you met them here or on the streets for real, you think they become your friends. You think whatever, and they get you every time. So I'm gonna say something about it. I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. If you ain't got a business card, you ain't showing your tank. Sit down and shut up. Period. That's how I feel. Because when you talking about something, I think you need to show. You need to show. People are looking for you to show them something. You know, they're looking. Now, people can say, oh, well, you ain't got a tank behind you. Well, shut up and sit down because I've been doing this for a long time and people seen tanks. So it is what it is, and I'll get one eventually. But at the end of the day, sit down, shut up. Hashtag of the day, sit down, shut up. Uh-huh. This is a place for, you know, real talk, aquarium talk, and everything in between. So what else? What else? Oh, it's already about that time. We already burnt up an hour. Cheers.